Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome in. As usual, trying to make space for everything on my little workspace. And just waiting for the laptop to catch up. Oh, that was quick. Oh my goodness, people, I am already yawning. That is not good. I didn't sleep well the last couple of nights. Let me get a cold water right there. Did not sleep well. Like, I go to bed and I fall asleep, but I don't stay asleep. It's annoying. Oh, hi, Peachy Peaches. Let's get things kind of organized here. We're going to work on the second or outer row of this 6-inch round. I think while I wait for a couple more people, I'm going to go ahead and write in the book these colors. If I can find the page. There it is. So, anytime I do a custom palette, I write the colors in our book. Hello, Miss Judy. Hello, Squatch. So, I still have not done that. And we've only been working on this color palette for a while, so I figured I would take a minute and do that and show you guys how and why I do that. Hello, thank you for liking the live. Welcome in, welcome in. It took a little while for the TikTok to get you guys here. Oh my gosh. I should have had some caffeine this afternoon. So the paper that I do like our practice and custom paint palettes on is 110-pound paper. I recommend it if you're going to ever make like a custom palette, or you want to practice without buying the wood rounds. I think getting the 110-pound paper would be a little cheaper than buying a bunch of wood and then not using it. So, how is everybody? Jack-o'-lantern. Hello, Cece. I'm kind of busy, so I'll listen and hook up. That sounds good. I think the tapping helps. Tapping helps. And then some people in here are painting, so they can't tap and paint at the same time. But sharing out the live and liking the live and giving me your daily heart me and all of that really makes a difference for the room. It gets us new friends. Unless you don't want new friends, then don't do any of that. So, all right. One more, two more, and then... Hello, Angie. Spring cleaning. It's summer and it's hot. It's too hot. I can't even cook right now. I mean, I threw some nachos in the oven and kicked up the oven real quick to like 400, and that was enough for me. I was over it. Poetic Plum. Poetic Plum. All right. So those are all fun. You threw it away. Oh my word. You could have maybe you could have sanded it. I don't know. Here, hang on. Let me get rid of these paints. Or not rid of them, but you know what I mean. Get them off the table because there's too many. Too many. Oh, there's too many. Too many. Oh. 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 Oh, my phone is doing something. Hang on. I don't know what is happening. It's kind of weird. I'm getting this weird connection is unstable. Are you guys hearing me okay, or am I breaking up? I know I'm not really doing anything on the... But does everything seem like it's okay? Seems like it's... Okay. But yeah, that's why I say with these rounds, just paint the other side. Okay, all right, loud and clear. I am pretty loud. I don't have 14 of them anyways, but I appreciate that. Okay, so hello everybody. Let's see, what do we got in here? What? Everything's a little weird on my laptop, so I don't know if maybe there's something amiss. See, it did it again. Hang on. There's something amiss. Amok. Amok. All right, looks like there's 6 viewers, so our regulars are here. Found the cable. Oh, you know what? I never did look again. No, I was at a patient's today. I mean, I was on there, but I didn't go back in messages. Ah, that's funny. Look at all the hearts going now. I appreciate that. I'm always afraid of fiddling with anything while I'm live. Hello, everybody. Thank you for the heart me. Okay. Let's get started. So if you are new here, we started this 6-inch round last night. We're using up a rainbow palette, almost rainbow. We left out indigo. Yeah. It's kind of one of those things that, because there's like goals that live hosts end up and tapping, getting people to tap. It really helps the live, getting the likes out there, and it gets us more, like I said, gets us more friends and, comments. If you guys are commenting and doing all those things, it just tells the algorithm that, so yeah, there's a tapper. I don't have one. I use my finger. So we talked about, so if you're new here, thank you for the Go Pops too, Judy. If you're new here, say hi in the chat. If you have any questions, say hi in the chat. You're kind of coming in on a project that we're doing, but that should not prohibit you from asking questions, because we do start from scratch. This is for beginners. They did ask me to do brush strokes at some point on this design, which is a little bit more advanced, but smaller ones aren't too bad. So if you have questions about the tools or supplies or anything like that, you can ask in the chat and then we'll help you out. Okay, I think we're in a good spot. So I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to start with red and try and keep with that rainbow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then using the gold accents. I think what I said is I'm going to go ahead and we had that one pattern we all wanted to see, right? Let me open that back up. Okay, so yeah, it's that 3 and then a brush stroke. Okay. So I'm going to go every other, and that'll end up giving us enough space if we get a little bit elaborate or too big, and then still have room in here to do something. So and I'm using the purple rod, if anybody is following along tonight. So the purple rod, make sure you get enough paint, and I'm going to do just above that purple swoosh we did. And remember, if you need a little bit bigger dot, you can just tap. And I have to look at it this way because my eyeballs don't work the right way when if I were painting right in front of me, I could do it the normal way, but I don't have that visual of where I'd like to see everything. So we're doing every other. Every other guide mark coming up just a little bit above that purple swoosh. Hi Mason, how are you? I wish we could get out to that FYP. We've had some good evenings. Quite a few people were in here late towards the end last night, which was, but it's weird. It waxes and wanes. I don't have any, I don't really do much. Maybe I could do more by getting it out there more, but I think you guys do a good job and being here and asking questions and getting us out there. Okay, I'm going to use the small end of the yellow. Thank you for sharing the live. And posting to your story too is another way to get it out there. So same thing, but this time I'm using the yellow. No, I'm not. I lied. Liar, liar. Orange. And then I'm going to do what we call walking dots. So you're going to start at the top and walk your dots around the best you can. This is that orange that I had a fight with last night, so. And there we go, I won. You switched. Thank you for the follow, Alana. Alana. Yeah, so all those things like sending your daily heart me, liking the live, commenting, even if it's something silly. I think sometimes those are the nights where we get a lot of people in here because the AI is probably like, what in the world are those people doing in that live? So we end up with a bunch of people in here. I don't know. I come to paint. If people want to join us, they're going to join us. So, Cece, are you working along tonight as well? Oh, that's a good idea. That way you can see bigger, yes. You can see all my mistakes live. Now, if you're working with an orange, we've talked about this. This particular one, the jack-o'-lantern one, is it's not user-friendly. It is not user-friendly. There we go. I did that the other week. I don't know what yeah. I usually use my laptop, but for this platform you can't really see, like you can't change the screen view, at least what I'm doing. So like I said, there's this terrible delay on my end, so it's kind of weird. So if you're new here, a walking dot is a dot that goes down and then you walk the rest of the paint off. I don't count, but your goal is to not do what I just did there, is to go all the way around in a progressive dot, so progressively smaller. So you start here and then walk around. And walk around. Like I said, I don't count, but thank you for the TikToks and the wink wink. Yeah, and I forget, I think I was on somebody's live, it might have been yesterday or whatever, and they were like saying that, like, some of us do like, TikTok shop and stuff like that. But if you don't engage in some lives, you don't get like the same push out by the algorithm. And I thought, though, that's like, you're already got us busy doing like any of the like videos. And now you want me to do more? I can't live on this app. I'm already on it more than I really should be. Okay, this orange and me, we're gonna break up after this. I can promise you that. I'm gonna write a note in my book or on the bottle that says temperamental paint. Use at your own, use with caution. Yeah, see now what it did over here? I just don't use orange all that much, so I really am not familiar with how temperamental it is, but I am now. All right, let me clean up that little spot there. I added orange flame. Oh. Hello, how are you? Just in time for me to clean up a mistake. So remember, wet the Q-tip and roll it slowly towards you. Voila. Still fighting with the orange. We didn't get very far. We just started with the every other and then the walking dots. for the first row. Hi, Nancy. How are you? It is coming out really pretty. Yep, you came in just in time to see me make a mistake. But I was just saying, yeah, I'm going to make a note on that orange. Use at your own discretion. I think I need a drink of water. I think I'm going to just go to the large end of the yellow. Now, if you're new here and you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. This is a live for beginners, but the group started this last night, so we're finishing it, and it is beginner steps, beginner patterns. We do a lot of repetition in here. Hello. I'm good. I'm painting, so I'm good. But we do a lot of repetition. I really feel like, well, that gives me practice, you practice. So we do a lot of the similar designs and patterns with different colors and flares, and we do just different things. But we started this one last night, and we decided to, thank you for the heart, me, to finish it up before we go to another project. And I already made a mistake. Hang on. That's got to come up a little more. Remember, we got to do our little triangle. So we're going to come up a little bit more, do our triangle. Okay, and now we're going to walk our dots. The triangle helps me keep my petal. You don't have to do it that way. That's just how I do it so that I keep things in perspective. I know, I feel like that too, because didn't we have one of those moments last night, maybe with the yellow dots in there too? I feel like that was the same. We all had that same reaction, that we really liked that part. And now you're always keeping in mind where your dots are ending up, right? Because you want everything to line up. So even though you don't have, now if you have a compass, you can make way more guide marks on here so that for a fact every single dot is lining up. I mean, you don't have to do that many, but you can do quite a few. And I'm not sure if I erased my guide marks on my project in the center. Let me see real quick while I'm talking on that topic, if I did or not. The one I swear I'm going to finish. Yeah, so it's not a very good example because some of them have, and I don't think you can actually see them. Can you? No, you really can't. Well, you can kind of hear. So when you're doing a smaller project, you would just make your guide marks smaller, 1/4 of an inch. And then you'll have more guide marks and have more opportunity to keep everything together. All right, so we'll keep working. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for all the likes on the live too. That is huge. It's helpful. So triangle helps me. Because what I found, what I would do if I didn't do that is one side would be off from the other. meaning like one would be shorter and one would be longer or something like that. That, while this doesn't make it perfect for me, it does get it a little bit better. I guess everything, my phone's charging, everything seems to be working now. I don't know what was going on before. When I first plugged in my phone to my laptop, because if I don't, my phone will die during the live. But it was saying there was a huge amount of moisture, and I'm like, well, it hasn't gone for a swim, so I don't know what that was about. And I've been getting that your phone is overheating, so I wonder if my phone is kind of getting to the end of its life, which I really don't want to happen. My daughters and her husband, well, both of them, both daughters, and they upgrade their phones like constantly, and I'm like, that gives me anxiety. I don't want to. But they're like, look what my phone can do now. I'm like, I just want it to work. That's all. I really don't need it to do much more than work. Oh, a little off on that one. Oh. Do you think it's because it's hot? I mean, is it hot where you are too? I mean, it's super hot here. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't even outside using it. I was in the house, so it was weird. It's been like that for 2 days. Yeah. I wonder if it has anything to do with the temperature outside the house. You know, like, but when you run your air, that pulls moisture out of the air. I don't know. People that open their windows in Florida, okay, Mississippi. Yeah, people that open their windows in Florida, I'm like, why are you doing that? All you're going to do is have a moldy house. Because it's so humid. Even on like our nice days, it's so humid. That humidity just gets trapped. And then your AC has to work so hard to get that out of there. So but I don't know. It's hard to, like, you can not run that or put humidity things out. I had to do that, like that damp rid stuff. Getting your kitchen done. Oh, that's a project, especially in the summer. Are you guys doing it yourself? Wow. There's a bunch of tapping going on. Hi, Bonnie. How are you? Oh, I wouldn't complain about some rain up here right now. It is dry, dry, dry. I know the boyfriend would rather the the holy Doug not fill up with water until his tractor gets here, but wow, that's a big project. It's a big project. We're already at 18. That thing works. I'm gonna have to set. Oh. Okay, so let's go up one more size. We'll do the large end of the white. Okay, and 2, 4. We're going to do the green now. So we're going to do one more row of walking dots. Same thing. We'll do 1, 2. Sometimes I have to get more. 3. and then we'll walk them down. Now, at any point, remember, got my extension cord and sander, I'm getting there. That's crazy. That thing is like going like crazy. At any time, these walking dots could be a brush stroke. Okay? Or a swoosh. Okay? So, what does it say? 22 cent, only bad part is I can't touch. I know. Well, again, I don't know how one of those things works, but everybody I know seems to have one. But yeah, so at any time you could do a brush stroke in here, which kind of breaks up the pattern. So same thing like here. See, remember how we did the swoosh and then we did some more walking dots? It just breaks the pattern up. But you can always do all brush strokes too, or all swishes. So you, and some of you have been coming up with your own little patterns, which is fantastic. Let's see, somebody sent me a message today, Jessica, and somebody else. Who sent me pictures today of their rocks, and they were doing swooshes on their rocks? Simply Me, right? Which for some reason I can't remember your first name. I gotta have to write a note. Somebody did. Somebody sent me pictures, and they were doing rocks. And they actually did swooshes on the rocks. It was pretty cool. Even I haven't done that. Okay. I thought, but you're on your... Yeah, I remember that. Well, I remember that now that you reminded me of that, but I didn't remember that until you reminded me. I should probably put a notepad here because things do pop up. I love the little side conversations. So do you see what I'm doing here with the guide marks? I'm using them to make sure my dots stay in their respective locations. Oh, it's pretty. Yes, okay. Okay. Right, you did the CD or something. Yeah, okay. She wants to buy 27. I don't have time to paint 27. But I appreciate that. I don't even have time to paint 2 for sale. I paint to just paint. If I had painted like for a business, I think it would take, because I'm a nurse and I already have like a profession, and that profession gives me a little bit of a luxury, to go on trips, and I don't want to be a starving artist. I'm already a starving student. No, somebody sent me a handful of rocks. Jessica sent me coasters and a 6-inch round. Somebody sent me a lid. That was simply me. Somebody sent me there was 5 or 6 rocks. Maybe that was Jessica. I bet it was Jessica now that I think about it. No, somebody bikes. It's somebody that does biking, and she's going to put them by the trails where she rides, which I thought was a really cool idea. Kind of goes hand in hand with kind of mine, but not. Originally I was going to put the rocks at the, creeks where I fish towards where people would go in. Change of plans. Yeah, so we definitely will do the brush stroke, and because it's a lot of dots. So we'll do some brush strokes, break some of that up. But yeah, like I said, in between here, you could, like that yellow row, that could have been a yellow swoosh. And then you could have come in with the walking dots of green, and then another brush stroke. Like you can, but we all need to practice walking dots and swooshes, so that's why we're doing it. What are we? Wow, that thing is crazy. I love it. Okay. So we're going to finish that up. And I'm going to get a cup of water for my paintbrush. And now there are brushes that are better for making brush strokes. I was painting phone holders in wooden. Oh, cool. Did you send me pictures of that? You didn't send me pictures of that, right? Just what I couldn't open last night. Did you try sending me those same pictures again, Judy? Maybe they just got, I don't know, hung up in the land of the TikTok. Okay. So phone holders and bottle openers. Okay. Well, that was good. I got the thing, but no water. So if you ever buy paint brushes, the Riker liner brushes, one thing you don't ever want to do is leave them in your water with the tips down in the water. Okay. I'm not going to use my regular one. Okay. All right. Cece, do you have anything like these? Or do you have like a regular paintbrush? Let me get out my book here real quick so we can do something real quick so I can show you the difference in things. I think that will help. I just got to find a page. Hang on. So let's open up. All right, here we go. A little bit of a lesson. All right, so when you get a set of paintbrushes, like this one is going to make really long, fluffy. Yeah, I think you can use any paintbrush, but let me kind of show you. I'm not going to show you. This would be like for a really big one. I used these two a lot before I got my second set. But just as an example, I think these two, I think these three will give you an idea. Like let's just use yellow just so that this is a 5. Okay. So with a 5, and again, you still want paint. Like you don't want to be chintzy. So in this pattern, we're going to start at the top. And you're going to push down. And then you're going to curve around. And that's the difference with not having those skinny brushes, right? Like it doesn't curve. I mean, it does, but not the way you would really want it. This is the bigger one. This is oh boy, it's rubbed off. Oh, it's a 1. Okay, I use this one a lot because when I was practicing, right? So same thing, you're going to push down and then you're going to pull up. But you see how that, hi Angie, the one I just put in this one here, the 1, because if you have this one, this is going to come in handy. You have the blue 5. It's just a little too bulky because you want to be able to push and curve. I don't have anything to guide, so don't judge. So yeah, you're going to want to push and be able to turn your wrist to get around. Hang on, let me look a little bit more like I normally would. Hang on. So that's a little bit more head on for me. Happy dotting. Oh, I don't know. I don't have that one. I do not have that. I have these. And I can't recommend them enough, but so like this is the one I would use a lot. This is a 2. So I'll show you what this looks like. Again, you want paint on there. So this is the difference between like quality. Okay. Yeah. I just don't want you to, feel like you have to go. I mean, you can do practice with what you have. Hang on a minute, I gotta get closer. It's really hard to do brush strokes about 12 inches from your face. But this is the one I would use a lot of, the 2. But she does have like a 3.0. But this is, so here, let me put these side by side. Okay. This is a 2.0 and this is a 2.0. That's the difference. What's off screen? Oh. But that's the difference between manufacturers, is this is marketed as the exact same size brush. They are not the same size brush. But can you do the same thing? Let me try and come over here a little bit more. So this is the 2.0 from, gosh, what company was it? I can't American Paint. I can't remember what brand this is. It's on my shopping list. I do know that. All right. So again, down. And then you're going to slowly come up. So it does the same thing. It's just, it's just different. I don't know how to explain it. Down. And up. Okay? Just get a different look. Let me clean some of these real quick. I don't need them all in there. All right, let me get these out of there. So we'll do a set of brush strokes around there in the blue, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do with the purple. And then, which one am I going to use? I use the 2. What happened to my screen? Uh-oh. I got to get rid of you guys.
This is the 70% question. Here we go.
I don't know why that's happening. Hang on, I got to get my laptop back up. Are you guys still there? No worries, Joe. Tapping accident. No worries. I don't know how to get rid of that. Let me see if I can try that now that it popped up again. But thank you for tapping. There we go. We're back. Okay, let me see. Are the sizes? Well, I don't know because what did I do with it? I already put it away. This is a 2.0 and this is a 2.0. Like they're the same. I'll be right back, guys. Hang on one second. Chat in the chat. Chat in the chat. Yeah, I don't know if it's the length or I don't know because they're different lengths, but they both say 2.0. So I don't know. Does anybody know anything about brushes? I know they're called liner. Some call them Riker brushes. I just don't know what the difference would be or why they number them or any of that. A 2 and a 5 would be, so that would be, like this is a 3, so that's got more bristles. But these are 2/0s. So so this is a 0, a 3/0, a 2/0, and this is a 1, 2, and 3. So for me, what I see with 1, 2, and 3 is more bristles. And then I feel that 2/0 and 3/0 are shorter with less bristles. Yeah. So, but the ones I'm picking right now are 2/0. This is a 1. But look, I think some are called, like this is a 1, and so is this. So I think they're slightly different kind of brushes. These are both 3s, okay? And look how long that one is. Like and these bristles are stiff compared to hers. I wish I knew the answer to that. All I did was order them because that was what originally she suggested. And then when she got her own paintbrushes designed, I quickly bought those. But again, I still feel that you could use any paintbrush. You're not going to get that same flex in your wrist that you normally would. You have both sets. Yeah, I like I said, I can't remember which one this brand is, but I've had this forever. All right, so let's do now. Again, I know you guys want to see as best you can. I'm going to do the best I can to paint as good as I can without being in my normal position. All right. So I'm going to come up, push down, and then come around. I'm going to I'm getting filtered. I Googled it. It says, no, you're not getting, you're not getting filtered. We saw it. The width and head. So the swoosh, yes. And Angie, the swoosh would be long. It could be longer too. So I'm just catching everybody's. Look, this is a small project. What did we say this size was? Let's just talk about this real quick. This is, well, if I measured the right way, 10 inches. Okay, this is a 10-inch round. Okay. So it's a 10. Well, You don't have to be that way. So this is a 10-inch round. These are brush strokes, and so is this. This one. Hi, Phoenix. How are you? But obviously 2 different size brushes, right? Because this brush stroke would not be as wide as this. If that makes sense. So I think my instructor was doing an 8-inch round. And I had a 10, and that's how this ended up on the outside. But yeah, so when you start working with the brushes, you'll find you'll have more flexibility with covering space. Oh, let's get you back in. Okay, so I do have to kind of rotate. Okay, so down, and then you're going to come up. Let's try that again. Now that I have it, I think I have it in a little bit better. So I'm going to go push down with the brush, come to my area where I'm going to come up, which is usually around here. It'll depend. Like if you're doing a long brush stroke, you're going to want to keep going and going up for a little while, but I kind of went down a little bit too far on that one. So I'll show you what I mean. So like if I'm going to go here now, okay, and I want it a little thinner, I'm just going to go down and then I'm going to start to change that look. So you see how this was fatter and it rounded out more? This is leaner and curved. That one's kind of the same way. Also can be different size bristles. I'm good. I'm good. Just paint. Well, I'm excellent because we're painting, but. So we'll do that again. Pushing down and coming around. So you can change your brush stroke. Like you can change, how do I want to say it, from side to side. Well, I probably don't want to do that since we're trying to finish a project. I should probably not do that. So obviously I'll do it on a different one. And this one needs more paint. If you do have to do more paint, you better do it quick. It's like a swoosh. You can't really go over it. I don't feel like I have a fever, but my belly is not at its optimal. But I don't feel like I did last night, no. There we go. And then, like I said, you're going to have to find your own way. Some people don't have to change, but I broke my wrist when I was a kid, so I don't know if that's why I have to move like the whole thing around to get the right angle. So, and I know that you probably can't see completely because of that. You're overreacting again. That is the funniest thing. With brush strokes, no. With brush strokes, I would probably try and make it work. With dots, yes. Believe it or not, when the way these brushes are made, they're slightly ergonomical because of, painters having to hold it steady. So I feel like the triangle grip on there really helps reduce shaking. I'm not saying you wouldn't, but that overreact thing is hilarious. I was in a live earlier, and there's a new one that it's like some yellow thing, and it actually sings. It's like, comes with music. I don't know what it's called or anything, but I thought it was pretty cool. So I know that there are quite a few of you that are, you feel like you want to progress along. I highly recommend you get on and look for, if you want, some of you are still working on the basics. I would specifically take a course on brushstrokes. Because the main thing with them is repetition. Yep. So you see what happened here? I'm going to try and fix that real quick. Came out just a little too far, but we can fix that a little bit with filling that in. That's fine. I try to, that painter that says happy little accidents. I try to treat everything I do that way. If it happens, it happens. I don't sell any of my pieces, so accidents are fine for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not selling them. I'm not doing custom orders. I'm doing it because I love to do it. I love the end result. I love what it looks like. Look at how pretty that is, you guys. Like that brushstroke changed the entire pattern. Remember how I was saying it was getting a little dotty? Not anymore. But I did a lot of projects before I'm still not fantastic with brush. I am not an expert in any of this. I am an advanced beginner who loves to share it, and I will not gatekeep. Some of you know more than I do. But I love the creation piece. You start with a blank slate, and then, like I said, I like to paint on black. That's black. You paint it black. You draw lines on it, and then you just put dots and stripes of paint on there. I don't know about that. My eyeballs are they're not gonna do that. This is hard for me because, like I said, I have an astigmatism and I'm not in my normal position. So the fact that those came out okay, I'm happy. All right. Hi, Tiki. How are you? All right. If you are new here, say hi in the chat. Tell us where you're tuning in from. Right, Joe? Looks good. Now we just need to figure out what we're going to do with the purple. So I can do another brush stroke. Again, I don't want to change our the goal here of moving from, a beginner situation to advanced. But I know some of you, are ready to see different things. That's cool. But yeah, if you're new here, say hi in the chat. Thank you for liking the live. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. And we're at 35,000 likes. That thing. Somebody else needs to get a tapper. Tap, 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 tap. Okay, so that leaves us now in that. So we have this whole area here. If it were me, that's hilarious. Like you like doing this? That's funny. You could come in with another brush stroke with the purple. Which would bring us there. And then let's see, that other one would be here. So then we could do another one here and another one here. So you could do two more brush strokes, and your middle ones would probably touch here. And then you would have a little bit of a room to do some little swishes. But we have purple. So that's what I'm stuck with. So I need to figure out how to finish this with the purple. So let's do walking dots around that one. Kind of, yeah. Yeah, kind of. So let me think this out. So if we do purple, which kind of blends in, purple. So we do a row of purple. And then we'll have this section here. So we could do swooshes in a few colors. Let's do that. My left stroke is better than... Yep. You're going to have to twist and turn until you find your place. Wouldn't be a bad idea to take the paper and draw circles on that and like practice on that paper, because in a circle, because if you're practicing straight, it's very different. Like you don't have that where you have to get in the circle, if that makes sense. For me, I have to like turn this all the way this way and go, and then I got to turn this way and then go. So let's... Let me see, what was that pattern? Let me look at that. Oh, that's right. That one was the opposite way. So technically this brush stroke, you could do both ways. starting big here and coming up here. So let's do those. I'll just do an opposite one. Did purple brushstroke because of the extra. Hi, Just Everyday Me. Thank you for the follow. Did purple brushstroke because of the extra. Okay, I think I'm going to do an opposite brushstroke for you guys so you can see that too, okay? Now let me get my brain, because I don't see it. Hang on a minute. I got to figure this. I got to figure out where I want to be. So you're going to push down. And then follow it up to a peak. It's kind of weird doing it on a small round, honestly. Hang on a minute. Let me get my bearings here. So we're going to do this. We're going to go down. Nope, we're going to go down. Not really touching that blue, but staying as close as possible. Now, this is where you're going to find your translucent colors if you don't have your chart. I know. I just wanted to show you that because I figured that closes this gap in, and then we can fiddle around with swooshes and stuff up here. I didn't want to do a lot more dots yet because remember, we're already like there's a lot of dots going on. So I just wanted to show you what that looks like. So you're going to come down. Same concept. Basically tracing that along. Right? But you want it, chubby at the bottom. All right. Hang on. Let me get my bearings here. Like I said, it's been a while since I've done a small round with brush strokes. All right. Again, thank you for being here and watching an advanced painting lesson. We will go back to our regularly programmed, or what is it? What did we say it is? Our regularly scheduled program shortly. Okay. Thank you for the heart, me, MJ. I appreciate you. And joining a fan club. Appreciate that. Yeah. So upside down, right side up. You'll learn to stand on your head if you need to. So coming down and tracing along that to get to that point. So, but you can see why brush strokes are part of this, right? Because if you're doing a large piece, you can't do, oh, your first time seeing this? Oh, well, welcome. We've been live for several weeks, but some of the community members had wanted to see brushstrokes, even though this is a class, a live for beginners. I'm obliging them and showing them how to do brush strokes. This is the first time I've ever done a rainbow palette on a round. So you're showing up for history, basically, is what I'm getting at. So the inside here is beginner.art. The brush strokes, well, beginners can learn them. You don't necessarily need to learn them when you're starting out. You do. You push me out of my comfort zone. You do. It's all your guys' fault. But we have fun. We do have fun. As a matter of fact, we need to talk about what we're doing after this. Do we want to go back to a pattern page? I know we talked about doing that. Gotta hold my breath when I'm painting. You're Yorkie. Oh, so this is really technically a dot art for beginners live. Brush strokes, what I'm doing now is a little more advanced. Not that a beginner couldn't do them. It just took me a while to learn them. And some of the community members wanted to see brush strokes. So this project we started last night. And it's the first time I have ever painted a rainbow palette. Thank you. Okay. I appreciate you doing that for me. That's been fantastic. So while technically this is a beginner dot art live, these are more of an advanced painting technique. But like Judy said, the community here pushes me out of my comfort zone. So we do a lot of different things. Different color palettes. I try to kind of go over how to get into this in an inexpensive way rather than, thinking you have to go out and buy every single tool and every single bottle of paint. You don't have to. So you want to do a pattern page, Judy? Is that what you're saying? Holding my breath on that one. Okay. So that's what we'll plan on tomorrow is a pattern page then. Okay, so now we have to go back to the basics and figure out how we're going to fill that in. And by doing that, I have to figure out how much space we technically have available. Let me just get this brush cleaned up. So we have 6 colors. Judy, that thing cracks me up. Okay. So, drink of water. We know we like the yellow. We know we like the gold. We could use some more gold. So if we do gold dots, maybe we could do gold walking dots along here, because that's going to kind of disappear. Remember how we were talking about some paints becoming translucent? So these are kind of going to disappear. So we could do gold dots here. All right, and then a long swoosh here. That's long. So what if we did red, gold? What if we did gold? No, there's gold there. You dripped. Where? What did I drip? Oh no. Oh, I see it now. I did drip. Okay. So, okay. What if we do red walking dots? We need to do red in here somewhere. We need a little more red. I think red, yellow, red. Hang on, I gotta think here. Gold. I like the idea of the gold here. I just don't know if I want a red swoosh. Let's see what it looks like. Let's see what the red swoosh looks like and hold our breath. I'm definitely going to have to use the large end of the green because that's going to be a relatively large swoosh. So somewhere around here. Okay. All right, we're going to stick with that. And then maybe the yellow and the gold. Yes, large end of the green, Judy, because it's got quite a distance to go, and I want it to be substantial. I don't want it to be I want it to make a presence. Like I want it to be red. I want it to be noticed. And remember, when you're doing your swooshes, slow. Don't go too fast. Push it and go slow so that you can get your paint off. So, MJ, this is more of a beginner technique, what we call swooshes. This one just so happens to be straight and rather large, but these were swooshes as well. So instead of paint strokes, we would do brush strokes. Sorry. Thank you for the heart me, Heather Magoo. Judy, 200 comments. I don't believe that. I mean, I think that's getting more accurate, but I'm not sure. I really don't know. Thank you for the go, Pops. How are you, Heather? Your live goes so, you're on so late for me. I gotta be in bed. It's the only thing. Oh, look at the corgi butt. Hey, Heather. You just started coloring. There's a new thing, and it's like this yellow stringy looking thing that sings. Do you know what it is? It's 11:26 in the morning. Hi, Allie. Where are you at then? 11. You must be in Australia, right? On the other. But I was in a live and I don't know what it's. Yes. Very cool. That's my bucket list country that I want to go to. I really wanted to go do a backpacking trip there, but then I found out about all of your lovely poisonous snakes, and that changed my mind. I still want to go fishing, but I don't know that I'll do the backpacking trip. But I have a friend that's been there many, many times, and he said that he's never met kinder people, and he's traveled quite a few places. And I know I was on a cruise ship to Alaska, and I met two couples. They were traveling together, and they were very kind. What's a drop bear? When I go fishing? Oh my God. Come on. What about the kangaroos? I don't know. Y'all have a reputation for some mean kangaroos too. But you're northwest, so north, southwest. Let's see it. What's a drop bear? Oh, this might be more up your alley, MJ. Look. So we bling things up here too, just a little different. We use mirrors. And we use metallic paints, so there's some blingy blingy stuff going on. Thank you for the follow, Monica. I don't know what a drop bear is yet, so it's like a koala. What? You're pulling my leg now, Allie. You got all kinds of things over there. I never heard it's got longer arms. You sure it's not a monkey? Do you even have monkeys? I don't know. That's kind of a dumb question. I don't know. I really don't know. Like I said, I researched enough, and then it kind of got put on the back burner. Is that like the cactus out in Arizona in the desert here that literally people tell you they throw themselves at you? No, we don't. They're in Arizona. So I was working, on a travel assignment, and the nurses are like, yeah, there's some really good places to go hiking, but you have to watch out for our cactus. There's cactus that throw like parts of themselves at you. And I'm like, they do not literally project parts of their cactus body on you. They technically they don't, but they have like really, really long prickers that you don't really see them. So then as you're walking by, like you it's actually you brushing on them, but I was like, they do not tell you. But definitely the fishing. It's going to be a long time, Judy, before I do that trip. Long time. Maybe I'll get there one day. I also want to go to Norway. My grandpa always had hopes and dreams that I would go visit our family over there, but what was the name of that movie? Kangaroo Jack? Or those guys they pick up a kangaroo and then they end up getting, like they think they killed it or whatever, so they put it in the car and then it's really not dead. It comes back to life. And the whole show, they're like fighting Kangaroo Jack. All right. So what do we think? That one came out bigger. That's what I think. Gold walking dots. Oh, I'm at a standstill. I think gold and yellow and call it a day. What do you think? Anybody gonna answer? What are we gonna do? You want me to just do it? No idea. I know I'm at a standstill. I'm at a standstill. Hang on a minute. Let me think. I could do gold in here. Okay, I'm just gonna go for it. Judy, that is, many people like that little bit of a negative space between them. If you paint them and they're not fully dry, they might end up bleeding together. Certain times, I like mine to, okay, so here's an example. Like, can you see that? Like there's very like negative and sometimes they touch. Sometimes I like that look, but then sometimes I like it where I have that negative space. It just depends. But I like them really close for this pattern. Baker Girl 65. What's 65? Is that like 6'7" but not? Thank you for the follow. We're too much. I don't know what 65 means, Baker Girl. All right, so we're gonna go for it. I'm using the large end of the white tool, Judy, or whoever's CC Judy. And I'm just gonna come at the very top and just walk pretty much halfway. You're 44. Could you show me again? What am I oh. Okay, let me hang on a minute. MJ, what am I showing you again? What I just had up, the mandala I just had up? Okay. So I'll put this here. Well, I'm 59. Yes, large end of the white. So yeah, so these are brush strokes. And yeah, like I said, we used mirrors in here. All of this in here is like beginner dot art. This was my first time ever doing this pattern. Is to me one of the hardest patterns I've ever done. Oh, well, happy birthday. Happy birthday. We're definitely the 50 to 60 something group, except for apparently Squatch, who's only 44. And I don't know if I believe him, but we're going to go with it. All right, let's get going on this one. All right. So I think that's a good size. Yeah, the large end of the white. And we're just going to start at the top and walk about halfway down. Just add a little bit of bling in there. Because like I said, that purple, we know that purple kind of disappears a little bit. So this will get it, well, a little too close, but we'll work with it. Nope, I don't like it. So mistakes get picked up by Q-tips. You wet the Q-tip and you carefully roll towards you. Doesn't have to be perfect because you're gonna come back in there, but okay. Hi, how are you? I'm the little tater tot. Maybe. Oh. It's a good group of people here. We have a good time. I think I enjoy it. I actually enjoy it more than I knew I would, if that makes sense, because I really didn't know what to expect. I've never done anything like this before. I just knew I wanted to paint, and as a student, the group knows that when I'm in a semester, I can't work on big projects because I can't finish them in time. And it just frustrates me because then I look at an unfinished project for weeks. So at least with this, I get to paint for a couple hours every day. We have a good time. And I get to finish something every couple of days, sometimes every day. It depends on what we're painting. If we paint on, the stones, this is one we did last week. And, we can finish that in a live because there's no design. The only thing I have to think about is the palette, which is honestly the easiest part of that whole thing. So, MJ, when you say you just started coloring, what are you coloring? I'm assuming a page or something like that. There is somebody I came across that was using these markers, and it looked like a coloring book, but not. It was I don't know how to explain it. I don't know what kind of paper it was. No, because it's not really an in-person. Like everything is online, except clinical. When I finished clinical, I gave both my preceptors, I gave them a small 6-inch round with a magnet on it. I did do that. So technically, yes. And then where I go to clinical for my next rotation, I know them there and they know I paint. We're on like friend kind of thing basis in coloring books, marker. I think kind of like that's what, is there like a certain marker that you use? Yeah, and that's kind of what I do with them, is I do them, and if somebody wants them and they're like, oh my God, that's so beautiful, I'm like, do you have a use for it? Because if it can go in your house, I mean, not everybody likes every color, right? So I give them away. I just don't have the time to make that something I do all the time. Because like I said, once I'm done with school, I anticipate working as a nurse practitioner. I mean, I want to say I will continue to be on TikTok for you all, but I just don't know how that's going to look. Blinging ducks. How fun is that? So you're using like the I know I've seen sheets of them, or do you just like do them individually? Because I had a girl do some sunglasses for me. I use I call them granny glasses. You know, the kind that go over your regular glasses. And I had her bling them up for me with different size. I don't know what they're, gems, jewels. Very cool. Do you post your art, MJ? We all do weird little things in here. You do shoes too? Fun. We could all do our Christmas shopping right here. Do you do like shows and stuff, like craft shows and stuff like that? I know a lot of people are busy with that stuff now. Christmas in July stuff. Okay. No, you're not. We all have our things. I mean, the weirdest thing is you live in Pennsylvania. I feel like there's a lot of space there. Oh, I have an idea. I don't know if it's going to look right, but I have an idea. Hold on, let's see. Let me think if it's going to work. So if I do that. All right, I'm going to hold my breath because I really don't know what this is going to look like. So it normally would be orange on the red, right? What do I... Okay. Yes. That's 100% why I'm here. I mean, I've done a lot of arts. I do a lot of outdoor stuff. So but I can't fish every day. I mean, I could, but there's no water right now. Like the water's low. It's hot. I'm going to do something, but I paint I'm glad I found this for my mental health because it gives me something to do when I can't do what I really want. All right, I'm going to do something. See if we like it. What do you think? And then a yellow swoosh. I just think there was going to be too much space to not do something. And that is kind of a design pattern that we do. Yeah. So that's a design pattern that you'll see when I show you the book again tomorrow. That is something you'll see us do. So it's a dot, and I'm using the large end of the white and just going part way down, not too far. Well, I wanted to break it up with a swoosh because then we end up with too many dots again. Because remember, everything here is dots, and then we ended up with more dots. So but I think a yellow swoosh would look good in there. I just didn't want. I think there would be too much space if I didn't do something. So let me show you what I. So for me, this is what I'm seeing. Somewhere around, you could do that. Ooh, I wonder. Could do that. Trying to figure out which way it should go. It's too big. You got to be careful too, because those dots are wet. Like that. I had to hold my breath because those dots are wet. So you could technically do the swoosh first and then do the dots. I think that, and then might be able to get a couple of green dots here. Just, regular dots. Yeah, I think I think that'll finish it off. So we'll keep going around with that pattern. That is a pattern that I don't normally do, the one with this one here. But you will see it done a lot. That teardrop pattern. Oh my God, there's a fly again. The flies are so bad. Does anybody use those? They're called the ranch. I mean, we have the chickens, and I think that's part of it. But it wouldn't matter if we didn't have the chickens or not. The flies would be here. But I use them. They're not cheap. But if you have a black fly problem, I guarantee you get a couple of those and you won't see flies anymore. Thank you, Simply Me. It was a group effort again. You got it, Judy. Did you do the red swoosh? Oh no. Then do a smaller swoosh. Smaller. Use a smaller tool. Oh, I know. I have unlimited, so they're called the Ranch, and they're fly traps. Don't put it anywhere near your like front door or anything. Because I don't know what, it's like all natural in there, but it kind of starts to stink. But you won't have flies in your house anymore. They love that stuff. But I think they're called the Ranch. And they're these bags, you put water in them. There's, like I said, organic material in there. And man, they work. Now remember, if your dots get too big, wipe your tool off. Get yourself back to size. Judy, if you don't have room, don't do it. That's the other thing. If you don't have room and you're done, you're done. I mean, I had to hold my breath too. I just think the yellow, the small end is too small. I just think it's too small. I'm mine. But if you don't have that much room, don't do it. Remember, I told you guys that these will be yours and what you do with them. You don't have to do exactly what I do. Because then I'm going to have to come after you. Hi, Lori. How are you? You're getting them in there. Good for you. My blue and purple swooshes. Yeah, what size are you working on, Cece? The 6, right? And you did get your stencils? Or are you still kind of freehanding things? I can't remember. Good. We're finishing up. Lori, tomorrow we talked, and we're going to work on a pattern page tomorrow, just kind of so you know what we're doing. No, it's you're practicing. Swooshes are hard. I'd honestly have to say, if I had to say, I think that's why I learned brushstrokes, is because I had such a hard time like that. Now I'm going to leave it alone. With swooshes. You hear her licking? Chloe. Gross. Yeah, so we're going to work on a pattern page. Probably review some. Come up with some new ones. And again, everything will be posted in full with no edits. So if you missed anything and you want to work on it and you have any issues getting to it, let me know and I'll get you to it. Like I said, the reason I ended up being like, I can't do this, but now I'm glad that I kept pushing myself to do them, because there are places where the swooshes just look different. I got a piece of something in there. Whatever. And then my wood is like warpy right there. Whatever. But, yeah, like I said, with practicing the brush strokes, for me, my main thing was my wrist and being able to find the position. And once you find it, like, it's all muscle memory. After that, there is something going on with this wood over on this side. Again, it's probably because I didn't do a very good coat of black, which, CC, may still be your problem too. Remember, we were both having that problem. I think it was you, CC, where things were kind of blending together, and I think that's what was wrong with mine, is I just did a really quick base coat, and it probably could have used more. There we go. Yeah, see, and I mean, it's a learning curve on the paint too, because mine, some of them I've had for several years now. So I think that's what's happening to me too, is I'm coming across some that have just, they're kind of at the end. I mean, they're usable for what I'm using them for, but it can be frustrating. And that's why I make such a big stink about when you guys are practicing, whatever you practice with, use the same paint to practice, because each paint manufacturer is different. They're not all the same. They're not all the same thickness. And like I said, learning about, how some of these paints dry translucent is another learning curve. Like, there's a lot of little things that, unless somebody tells you, you just don't know. And then if it doesn't quite look right, I just flip the tool over and use the small end to kind of blend it out a little bit. Oh, it's pretty. Pretty, pretty, pretty. So those of you that are new here, thank you for being here. I guess I haven't really said that my name is Victoria. I do come on live every Sunday through Thursday. Sunday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern till 10:30. It just depends on, but usually at least till 10. It just depends on what we're working on, how long we end up on. Now, guys, I might have a patient Thursday. The patient that was in the hospital. I have not heard back from them though, but so I don't know if he's technically home. But I told the office, they asked me if I would do his infusion. I said, well, I can do Thursday, but we haven't heard from them. And usually when he's home and he wants an infusion, he's calling my cell phone. So I don't think he's out yet. Plus I need, yeah, well, I'm practicing with you. That's what I love about this, because no matter what I'm doing, it's still practice to me. And maybe that's why I like doing it, is because I don't have to be like, I'm not strict on myself. Like, I mean, I make mistakes and I'm like, I wish that looked a little better than that, but whatever. I know, that's awesome. Somebody else needs one of those little tappy tap things. That thing is fantastic. I appreciate that so much. Everybody who's been tapping and sharing and getting us new friends, I love that. I guess Heather popped in, said hi, and left. She never did answer my question, did she? Yeah. And I'm type A. So, you know how that drop of water that you saw that I didn't? Like, on a normal day, like if it landed on my notes for school, I'd be a lunatic. This, I'm not. I get too much joy out of it, I think, that even a little mistake, you don't see them anymore. So, what do you think? Should I put just 2 dots of green there, or just call it a day? Hi, Val. How are you? It's been so long. Thank you. Thank you for the rose, MJ. I appreciate that. I know. I mean, you're not live anymore. You're enjoying your summer. But do you guys think I need to put green dots here and here? Or just leave it alone? Green dots there? No. Lori says no. MJ says yes. We need a tiebreaker or two then. Green dots. You can do it. Leave it. Judy says leave it. Because Judy doesn't have any more room. Judy's tapped out. Oh. We'll leave it. I didn't know any of that. Well, you could always reached out if it was something that I can help with. But where are you traveling to now? See, he's out of room too. I'm going to hold it up without the glare. Hi, how are you? Oh, I know, you were in Up to Cabin. Yes. Well, that looked like a lot of fun, though. So tomorrow, before we start our practice page, Savannah, I love Savannah. Very cool. So tomorrow, before we start our practice page, we'll erase the guide marks and seal it. We'll see if there's anything that we want to fiddle with, and then we'll seal it. I think it came out really nice, guys. Good job. Good job. Yeah, I remember seeing your stuff from the cabin. That looked like you had a great time there. Is anybody else going anywhere anytime soon? I'm not, because I'm a broke student. Although in September I will be going to Maine, but it does, Dee, doesn't it? You're gonna go to sleep. I'm not gonna be too far. Nice to meet you too. Yes, I'm gonna look for you to follow you back, and we'll keep an eye out for when you go live. I'm excited for you. Absolutely. I appreciate you stopping in and hanging out with us. All right, Cece. I will see you later tomorrow, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes, you're welcome. Thank you. Does anybody that's here have any questions before we sign off for the night? Oh, Cece, okay. She's not going to bed. She's telling me she's going to go to sleep for her vacation. She's so silly. But yeah, if anybody has any questions, we can hang out for a little bit. Eventually, we have to erase the guide marks on this one, too. So I guess we could do that. Well, we're sitting here, my husband and... Ooh, very nice. Okay, cool. Well, I guess you're going to have her follow me, because that's the best way. But typically I'm live Sunday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern till about 10 or 10:30. But yeah, have her follow me. And I'm actually my husband and going to Alaska soon. 55 D. Wow, congratulations. That's fun. That's I and I know you know this. In today's society, that is not very common. Yeah, have her I have been putting them on in full without edits on you'd have to go to my BIO and you'll see what I'm talking about in there. It's basically the entire live without any edits. So that's another option. But tomorrow we'll be doing a page, a pattern page. We won't be doing a new project yet. My 19-year-old says I could... Oh, that would be cool. That would be really fun. I would consider, if you do that, like using like a multi-surface paint, just so that you can get like a good cure on it. Fun. And then I would definitely seal that with more of a spray. So I'll erase these guide marks on this one and we'll seal this one too tomorrow. Yes, Dee, thank you. Yeah, thank you all. Yeah. Well, Val, I finished my clinical portion for pediatrics, so that was a relief because that was a huge stress point for me. I have one more test. I'm in week 9. So I have one more test, and my my primary care rotation for clinical is cinched. I'm going back to the same doctor I was at the first semester, and I should graduate in November. I still obviously have to pass my certification, but I feel like I'm getting there. I'm actually like, so to give you an idea how I feel about when I first started, everything was kind of like I was going through nursing school again. Like I was going through pharmacology. Okay, memorize this, memorize this. You got to memorize this till you get through the test. And then I was in clinical last semester and things started to make more sense, but I couldn't access the information. Well, today, one of my friends that is in the fly fishing community posted a picture of him. His entire lips and face were swollen up. And I immediately, like, I was thinking anaphylactic. But then I was like, no, that looks more like a medication. Thank you for the roses. So people that take medication, ACEs and ARBs, so like lisinopril or losartan, for high blood pressure, can have this reaction even years after taking this medication. So it's not like an allergic reaction, but it is it's not a histamine reaction, if that makes sense. Like it's not fixed with Benadryl, but it is a reaction. Oh, is that one that sings? You know, there's a new one that sings. Val, do you know which one that is? It's like this yellow fluffy thing. Oh, you became a title gift. What did I miss? Oh, thank you, Val. Yeah, I just saw it for the first time today. But anyways, I diagnosed him without him telling me. And I mean, I didn't tell him that. And then I had another friend reach out to me, and I think I know what's wrong with her daughter, but she's got to see a cardiologist, but I think everything's fine, but it's just one of those things. But so what I'm getting at is things are starting to tighten up, and like I'm accessing that information because I've been repeating it and repeating it and repeating it. So, that's cool too. Thank you so much, Val. I appreciate you for popping in. But yeah, I try to catch you. You're not really even on anybody's. I haven't seen you really in lives too often either. I have a hard time getting to Heather's because hers is, late time. All right, so we will seal this one tomorrow. And what? I had another one. Oh. We sealed that one. We can seal this one too. So that at least this one was so pretty. This is one I'd actually forgotten we had painted this on that green background, something I'd never done before. But that came out pretty too. So I'm erasing those chalk marks with this plastic eraser. And yes, it makes a mess. So you are not going to want to do this near your freshly painted projects because you'll get eraser in your paint. That's why you see me. The wet project isn't anywhere. See, we did that same pattern here too, with the swoosh and the dots around it. So are you guys doing, like, is there a campground on Savannah? Oh, girl, I chatted with Heather today about that. Yeah, you know how I had contemplated getting rid of the other one anyways. And I am like doing all the things that this platform, and nothing's really happening from it. So I just put so much effort into it. You don't want it to. I'm not a quitter. Not a quitter. But enough's enough. So. Oh, cool. Yeah, it's funny because like at first you're like mindlessly like scrolling and you're like, "Oh, I got another 15 minutes." And then, it's an hour later and you're like, "I'm still here." And then like for, Val and I who we both do we do content, then you're like, "Okay, now you got to do that." And then it's fun, but I don't really feel like the reward. It's not rewarding. I like my painting. I really like my painting. And my chickens. I like my chickens. Did you all see the video of them? I don't know why those birds like to hang out on my fire pit. Yeah, but I posted the rooster was standing in the middle of the fire pit today. And I'm like, what are you? And he's just looking at me like, what? I don't understand. Like you could be cooked. Oh, that's what I was doing. So Judy, I tried to do that today. Okay. And I will do that before I go to bed. I tried to do that today. I downloaded 2, but I couldn't, and I was at my patient's house. I couldn't figure out which one it was because it didn't start with this in front. Like it started with us talking about something else. So I'm like, I don't know which one it is now. Because I downloaded 2, but I will. Yeah. Some barbecue chicken. Yeah. I've been painting and doing this for so long but it does fit in, and gives me that time to paint and decompress. But yeah, like I said, it's been fun. It's just like not that kind of fun. So Judy, yes, I will do that and as a matter of fact, I think I need to take a picture of that because I usually put that as the thumbprint. All right. Does anybody have any questions? There are quite a few here. I don't know if anybody has any questions. If you are new here and you would like a supply list, a beginner dotting supply list, or have any questions, there should be an orange box at the bottom of the left-hand corner. You can message me there, or you can just message me on my profile. I'm pretty responsive, unless it's Judy, and she sends me pictures I can't open. Then I don't respond. I'm going to do that too, Judy. As soon as we get off, I'm going to look at all of that. Does anybody have any questions before okay, good. Yeah, maybe there was just some glitch with it. Yeah, like I said, we have a good little thing going. Sometimes we have like 70 people in here. Sometimes it's just the regulars, which is fine. We have a good time. I've got quite a few people that are they paint with me now, like Judy and Cece. They paint at the same time I am. So yeah, so it's been good. And you know, they understand if I can't be here. I try to be like proactive when I know I'm not going to be here. So it's not like I'm not here every night, but we have a good flow. But yeah, well, it's good kind of chatting with you. Now, it's kind of weird you being on the other end because usually you're talking to me. So, yeah, I remember working with the 6.5, and to me it was more challenging to finish up the edges because this every pattern she did was like 6 inches. Oh, you do? You do? I ain't doing that. Not doing that. After that one time, and I had half of another continent in my friends list. No, not doing that again. Oh my goodness. Yeah, those things. Yeah, no. And I'm busy. Like I in the end of the day, I'm not. And then when I get home, I do this. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, we were going to do that, and we did that one night here, and I can't figure out how to shut it off. I think I did, but then somehow somebody is able to get in there. So, but yeah, we tried that one night, and it went well. Yeah, you guys showed me how to do that, but I ended up doing something and like it's permanently open. Like when they're tapping on the screen to like the live, it, it gets them in a box. Yeah, we have to get maybe more, we have to do that. So, I mean, we can do that tomorrow too. Yeah, well, that's the thing. It was weird. And I don't know how to fix that. So I have to research that before, because we just had somebody was able to randomly go in, and I don't know who they were. But we also don't have a mod. So that's probably another thing. We don't really get too many, what do you want to call them? I mean, I had to mute one person like the other day, but they get filtered out quick and I really don't have to do anything. I mean, sometimes we mess with them. We had somebody the other day that saying something and I'm like earlier we had somebody telling me about what is drop bears in Australia. And I'm like, what is a drop bear? And she's like, it's like a koala, but with longer arms. They drop out of trees and attack you. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they were messing with me, but it was funny. It was still fun. It was still comments. It was still fun. Yeah, Val, you enjoy your summer. You enjoy your summer. And then if you're here, pop in. All right, guys, let me go do this for Judy. If anybody has any questions, you guys know how to get in touch with me. Message me. Yes, it was great catching up. And don't hesitate to reach out. We're still friends. All right, Judy, I'm going to do that for you now. And if anybody has any questions, let me know. I'll upload this as well. One at a time, though. I'm not doing more than one at a time, so that doesn't happen again. Okay, if not, it'll be posted in case you're not. And, you know, family first, so Cece, you do what you need to do as well. All right, Dee, good night. It was good to see you again. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you all. 62,000 likes. Wow. Fantastic. All right, guys, have a great night. I'll see y'all tomorrow.